Hello, I'm Molly Hooley, and thank you for tuning in to this month's edition of Hempfield Happenings. In this episode, we have many interesting stories to showcase, including Lauren Daig exploring Lancaster County Magazine's recognition of Hempfield accomplishments, and Tusha Pham bringing to light the background of Hempfield STEM Summit. Stay tuned for all this and more in Hempfield Happenings December show.
Stress. It is a word that people know quite well. We all have an idea in our head of what stress means to us. In our culture, stress is unavoidable. It is something that people deal with every day, even at Hempfield High School. I began my journey with Dr. DaCosta, a guidance counselor at the high school.
I think stress can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. Some students it's more obvious and you can kind of see it, or they're able to articulate it better. But for others, it kind of manifests itself in more physical ways, like maybe you're not sleeping well. Maybe you're getting a lot of headaches, maybe like your stomach is upset. And stress isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like everybody has stress, like stress is a normal part of life. So you're never gonna totally eliminate stress. It's how we manage it, how we cope with it, that makes us healthy or unhealthy.
Stress can be psychological and is present in the classroom. Mr. Teacher gives more information.
You know, high school is difficult. There's always gonna be times where you're gonna have work that is hard, that is going to require a lot of cognitive effort. I think that stress can be raised during certain times. I know, for example, on test days, I think you see a heightened level of stress in the classroom. Stress in and of itself is psychological, but there are physical effects of stress. People who experience high stress are more likely to have high blood pressure. There's a correlation with a greater risk of heart attack.
Students have tendencies to be stressed during the school day for a variety of reasons. Austin Glass shares his experience.
I would say I'm under some constant stress, but I sometimes find that motivates me to continue doing things. There are some people that I think do well doing a few things, whereas I think I have to be involved in a lot of things because that's when I function best. So I kind of take on stress.
We live in a world where stress is kind of impossible to ignore, and I think that it's about channeling that stress properly, learning techniques to cope with that stress.
Try to remove yourself from what's stressing you out, take a bit of a break, pause for reflection, and kind of regroup and figure out, okay, this is what I can do about it, this is what I'm choosing to tackle, this is what I'm choosing to let go, and then trying to find a way to keep yourself moving forward.
Everyone has different levels of stress that they're able to take on, and it's really important that you know yourself, especially before college or any higher education, because it'll only get more stressful from here. So I think during high school you should experiment and try and see what you can take on and what you can't, just so that you can kind of get to know yourself, and that'll serve you well in the rest of your life.
Stress is not always a bad thing. However, it is important not to let stress get the best of you. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Bailey Rye.
Recently, Hempfield School District was highlighted in Lancaster Magazine for educational excellence. Lauren Daig investigated more on the topic.
We're off to a great start.
Recently, Hempfield School District was voted by Lancaster County Magazine as the #1 school, along with Mr. Ben Mitchell as the best teacher for 2017. The best of results are from a ballot through Lancaster County Magazine that is distributed around May, and the results are revealed in the beginning of November.
It's strictly, people just, fill out the ballots. They're not restricted to who they vote for, or we don't make any suggestions. whatever comes, to their minds.
This is the first year that these two categories were included in the survey, and Hempfield and one of their own teachers won both. Despite there being over 90 nominees for the best teacher, Mr. Mitchell, who has been working at Hempfield for 9 years, was awarded first place.
This was a complete surprise to me, and I found out from a letter that was addressed to the school, and I opened it up, and it said that not only had my name been submitted to this magazine or this poll, but that my name was elected first place.
Many people think highly of Mr. Mitchell, including Nick Gold, who captured several images of Mr. Mitchell and his students that were later used in the Lancaster County magazine article.
When I first met Mr. Mitchell, my first reaction was he's just a very personal, down-to-earth kind of guy. He was very funny, and he just made you feel welcome.
Aside from Mr. Mitchell winning first place for Best Teacher of 2017, he still continues to portray his positive outlook and to strive for other things during his career.
That is my goal, is to continue to be a positive role model here at Hempfield High School, and to, once again, represent Hempfield School District to the best of my ability with this very distinctive honor.
Hempfield School District is being recognized by the community and is now being rewarded for their hard work. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Lauren Degg.
Tusha Fam went to explore the STEM Summit that is held for freshmen and sophomores here at Hempfield.
Hempfield offers many opportunities for students to explore different career fields. STEM is one program that allows students a more interactive approach. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Starting in 2016, the high school has held a STEM Summit where freshmen and sophomores are exposed to various STEM-related crafts.
One of the main points of the STEM Summit and working with Junior Achievement is to have our students realize what STEM is and the jobs that possibly exist someday. So the students are working on hands-on experience, and they're taking that knowledge and realizing if they have an interest in this particular area, how they could possibly make a career of it someday. As a school district, it's important that we show the students what exists, what their possibilities are, and we encourage students that have an interest or a strong desire to learn more to take classes here at Hempfield that relate to the STEM fields of interest.
Junior Achievement is a volunteer organization that coordinates with school districts in the York, Harrisburg, Lancaster area to run these summits.
So the STEM Summit is comprised of 9 different activities, and the students will participate in each of those. Every 30 minutes they will attend a different activity. We have a chemistry experiment, a physics experiment, and a biology experiment. We have a math competition, a relay competition where the students get to walk on 6 dozen eggs, which is really fun. We have a new robotics competition where the students get to operate robotics and compete against other teams.
Bring it! Bring it! Through the various activities available from all fields of STEM, students often learn more than what they initially anticipated.
Going into it, I wasn't too interested. But as I was there, I kind of realized that it was a lot of fun, and I was interested in a lot of the topics.
It was really fun, and I also liked the competitions because it basically was able to involve everyone.
It was actually like the best thing I did so far this school year.
It showed me a lot more options, and it just showed me new ideas that I never even thought about.
The STEM Summit is a new tradition that will continue to encourage younger students to explore their passions. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Tusha Pham.
This past summer, 4 Hempfield students traveled to Russia to start an international collaborative web series. As part of their travels, they witnessed the national championship game for one of Russia's soccer leagues.
Soccer is a very popular sport in Russia, but in one particular league, there's something just a little bit different.
All players involved in any sport bring both their unique traits and talents out to compete, and this game had its fair share of both because the players in this league are blind.
Сейчас мне 18 полных, вот буквально в январе исполнилось.
I am now 18. I just turned 18 in January of this year, and I started playing for this league at the age of 13. I've played sports since I was a child. Suddenly, I started losing my sight and eventually became blind.
В общем-то, начал пытаться найти какое-нибудь занятие.
I was looking for ways to keep myself busy because I was involved in all kinds of activities, and there was a way to channel my energy somewhere, and this turned into me being involved in this soccer program.
The game was close, but when 90 minutes were up and the buzzer sounded, Moscow came out on top. Their hard work, determination, and unity as a team had just won them a championship.
When you see that you get these results thanks to the work of the teammates, thanks to the work of the coaches and everyone, this is definitely a great feeling, knowing that everything you've done throughout the entire year was not in vain, and you're actually seeing the results, and it's a great feeling when you see the team take the championship. They do spend a lot of time on the field and outside the field, and actually outside the field they have a lot of common interests. They usually get together with their families that they have very close relationships. They will go to outside matches, and they'll actually go and root for their favorite team together. A lot of them are studying at the same colleges and universities. They definitely spend a lot of time outside of our soccer program, and even more so than they do when they're here. But they're definitely very close, and they've developed strong bonds with each other.
Both the International Blind Sports Federation and a group known as Same Sport work to bring opportunities of athletics to those with disabilities, so that games like this could happen.
I've been working as a journalist for about 6 years, but then I understood that it's not enough just to write about social problems and about problems of people with disabilities, and I decided to start my own social project. It's about sports for disabled people. There we have a database of all the sport teams or sport groups that we have in Moscow for people with disabilities. They are free, and we try to connect people with disabilities and the sport clubs because they do not know about each other. A person with disability may come to our website and find a sport team or section or group that is interesting for him. Now those two groups, people with disabilities and sport teams, they are disconnected. So we're making a platform for them to connect.
While the players cannot see, with hard work and great athleticism, they'll still be able to find success, just like any other competitor. Moscow went on to win the International Blind Soccer Championship, which took place in late August in Berlin. To find out more, go to samesport.ru. For DPTV, I'm Jack Harrison.
This story, along with 2 others, are part of the pilot episode of Disabilities Partnership TV, or DPTV. The show is now available online at tinyurl.com/DPTV1. Again, that is tinyurl.com/DPTV1. Centerville Middle School is celebrating their 50th year of operation. Taylor Hess went to discuss the exciting milestone.
In 1967, Hempfield expanded and created Centerville Middle School for grades 7 through 8. This year, on October 22nd, it turned 50 years old.
It was the 50th anniversary of the opening of the actual school building, and it had opened in 1967 after we broke away from Hempfield High School simply because it was too crowded.
Mr. Schuss, who is a retired English teacher from Centerville Middle School, came and asked if we could do a 50th year anniversary, whatever. So we kind of all got together with the principal, Mr. Schuss, and myself, and we decided to have an open house for the community and some of the retired teachers and current teachers who would want to come and visit. Mr. Schuss did a wonderful job. He had a presentation in the auditorium, and it lasted about maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour, gave a brief history, and he was just delightful. I had tears rolling down my cheeks. He was so funny. And then the teachers, the retired teachers that came through, took a tour because a lot of them had left before we had done the renovation. And then we had just light refreshments in the cafeteria and just reminisced, and it was just an enjoyable afternoon for a lot of the people that came. It was a small group, but it was well worth every minute of planning.
Jill and Al explain how CMS turning 50 years old makes them feel.
What do you think? I feel very, very old.
Well, I have to say it makes me feel a little older, a lot older, but I just was glad that I was able to be here during that time.
Congratulations to CMS on a successful 50 years. Here's to many more.
For Henfield Happenings, I'm Taylor Hess. Luke Dreyer discovered more about an organization that was started to promote success for individuals with Down syndrome.
Your bloopers. Oh, your bloopers. Your bloopers.
Gigi's Playhouse is a new organization coming to Lancaster. Gigi's focuses on individuals with Down syndrome and helping them achieve their goals.
That you celebrate for days and weeks.
Tara Lee and Tolik Claudio has twin boys, Josh and Caleb. The only difference, Caleb has Down syndrome.
Down syndrome is a chromosomal disorder that happens at conception when the chromosomes are replicating, and what happens is the 21st chromosome, everybody has 2, but those with Down syndrome get a 3rd copy of that. And it affects different aspects of individuals differently.
The boys' mom, Tara, discusses some of the challenges individuals with Down syndrome may face.
And every child with Down syndrome is different. They have a different, functionality ability. They have a different cognitive ability. They have different physical needs.
Alicia Fitzwater is an individual leading the development of Gigi's Playhouse Lancaster. She explains the history of the organization.
So Gigi started about 14 years ago. There was a mom, her name is Nancy Gianni, and she had a daughter born with Down syndrome. Her name is Gigi, as of Gigi's Playhouse. And she lives in the Chicago area, and there wasn't much for her at that time in the terms of therapy or any interventions. So her mom set out on this journey to start something for her. So that's how it began, and now there are 33 Gigi's Playhouses across the U.S., and there's one in Mexico. None are in Pennsylvania yet, so we are opening the first one here in Lancaster.
Gigi's is gonna just be a whole nother level of another place that you can go to have acceptance and camaraderie and inform, because I think there's so much information or misinformation about Down syndrome that Gigi's is just going to open up a whole nother, awesome opportunity for us to have places to go and hang out. Not that we can't go everywhere that other people go, because we do, but it'll just be like kind of a home away from home is the way that I'm looking at it.
To learn more about this new organization coming to Lancaster, please visit www.gigisplayhouse.org. For Henfield Happenings, I'm Luke Dreyer.
2 girls from Farmdale started to sell baked goods to use the proceeds to benefit the community. Devin Noonamaker spoke to the girls to discover more.
Here, I'll give it to you, then you can do it.
Crystal Felch is the mother of 2 students here at Farmdale. Their names are Peyton and Bailey, and they came up with the idea to help people who are in need during the holidays. They call this program The Giving Hearts.
Every year, The Giving Hearts has a bake sale at the 717 Wraps and Graphics in Mountville, as well as a number of other fundraisers.
We do little fundraisers throughout the year, and then we do a large bake sale every year in October. But the girls have put on puppet shows, they've made bracelets, helped do stuff around people's houses for extra money.
One of the things I helped with is friends of mine at a club that I go to have like a food wagon. And then one day he brought up to me, hey, why don't we have a chicken barbecue while they have the bake sale? So for the past 2 years, we've done a chicken barbecue along with the bake sale. And the first year they donated everything. They didn't accept any money from us at all for the chicken or their time or anything. And another friend makes the beans, and then Crystal makes the macaroni salad. And it's just great. I mean, we've sold out both years so far.
After fundraising is finished, the money saved up goes towards purchasing gifts for those less fortunate. Peyton and Bailey Felch explain how this process makes them feel.
Happy because I'm helping them.
This feeling that Peyton and Bailey get as a result of helping others is mutual among family members that contribute to the Giving Hearts.
Oh, it's great. It really is. It gives you a warm feeling inside, and just to know that not only we're helping the girls, we're helping a lot of other people out there. You know, it touches a lot of people's lives in one way or another. So I'm proud. Makes me feel proud.
It's awesome. There's a lot of kids that wouldn't have anything for Christmas if they wouldn't be having, you know, the fundraisers and that to raise money to provide Christmas presents. And one year they even had trees. I think last year they even did Thanksgiving dinners for a few families.
With hard work and a giving heart, the Felches plan to continue their spread of happiness for many holidays to come. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Devin Unemaker.
Emily McAlpine learned about the background of an important historical house in the area.
You'd be here for like 4 to 7 hours because there'd be 7 to 9 courses served in one meal.
Lancaster is a place that's full of history. One student shows her passion for it by giving tours at Wheatland. Being a tour guide is one way people can volunteer at the former president's house.
So the tour guide has to know how to navigate. They've got to be able to keep an eye on artifacts, to safeguard them, and at the same time they need to be able to get a feel for what their visitors are interested in, all the while telling stories about Buchanan. Good storytelling, some people come by it natural and others need a little bit of training. So we ask, when a tour guide is starting out, a candidate for being a tour guide not only has to do a lot of reading, but they also have to do what we call shadowing. But then they might want to also partner, which is another stage which not everyone uses, but some people tend to use if they feel a little nervous, like, I need another level of easing into this job as a tour guide.
Juliana Espenson is a Hempfield High School student who has been a partner tour guide for about 4 years.
She was very interested in history. It was obvious that she had a passion for history, and that's something that we look for in a volunteer, regardless of their age.
So the bottom 2 shelves are the shelves that he took to the White House. So I think moving to Lancaster definitely made me want to be into more history because Lancaster's so rich in history. But I think I've always just had a love for history. Like even just going to Gettysburg when I was little, like taking those like little field trips with my mom. I have learned so much about giving tours, people, dealing with people. You know, I love history and it's 5 minutes away, and it's just such a great experience because this isn't exactly what I want to do when I'm older, but it gives me a good foot in the door kind of thing in order to figure out exactly what I want to do in a museum type setting. Not only does she give tours at Wheatland to help her future as a historian, but she is also a reenactor. I actually am a World War II living historian as well. I actually do that more than I'm here. One day, when we first moved to Lancaster, my mom and I took a tour of Wheatland, and I was like, this is something I could do. And then one of my partner days, one of my first times at Wheatland as a volunteer, was their World War II encampment that they usually have every year, but now it's going to be every other year. And I was like, this could be something I could get into too. There's nothing can describe how rewarding it is to be able to teach people about how things were lived. I think I'm definitely more of a visual learner, so seeing someone in period costume, whether it's 1860s or 1940s, whatever I'm doing, is you see these people and you're like, wow, that's what they looked like, that's what they wore, that's what they did. That's how they acted. Being a tour guide and reenacting are some of the ways to get involved in the historical community. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Emily McAlpine.
Hempfield's music program has been continually recognized for their exceptional student talents. Julia Campbell followed one of Hempfield's talented students to discover more about the program.
At Hempfield, exceptional music students have many opportunities to showcase their musical abilities. One such opportunity, the All-National Honors Choir, selects only 300 students nationwide to participate. Recently, Hempfield senior Sophie Walters was named as one of these 300 students.
When I was selected for NAFME, I was really excited because I had worked really hard to get to that point. and put in a lot of hours.
Students must perform well at multiple levels in order to reach the all-national choir. Hempfield Choir Director Dr. Alan Mudrick describes the long process.
We start here in Lancaster County with the LL Music Educators Association Choral Festival. We also have the Pennsylvania Music Educators Chorus Festival for the district level, which is 7 counties in south central Pennsylvania. After that, we compete for the Regional Chorus Festival, which combines with our district and a district up in northeast Pennsylvania. And then from that Regional Chorus Festival, we have the all-state audition. You have to place usually among the top 10 throughout the state to even be given a chance to be at the all-national event.
In order to qualify for the all-national honors choir, students must qualify for their all-state choir as well as audition via a video recording.
In any other state, you just audition for nationals, but in Texas and Pennsylvania, you have to make it to all states before you can audition for nationals.
Aside from the many auditions, reaching the all-national choir requires countless hours of preparation.
The music department's been really nice where they've provided us all the music for all our festivals. We don't have to buy it. And for counties and districts, in class we will go over the audition pieces.
I will rehearse with the students, but at that level of proficiency, the students are largely on their own. Sometimes they will study with private teachers to assist them with learning the music for the festival.
My vocal teacher, Joanne, she really helps us through the audition process, and what we always do is we learn all the music and then we go through the spots that are possible auditions, and we just really work those for, at least a month or so.
Not just any singer can qualify for the all-national choir. It takes a dedicated and talented singer like Sophie to reach such a high level.
Sophie has a really warm, rich mezzo-soprano voice, very pleasant to listen to, has power and sensitivity at the same time in her tone quality. To be chosen from all of the high schools throughout the country to be one of 300 or so in an all-national event, that's pretty prestigious.
Over the past 4 years, Hempfield has had 8 students qualify for the all-national choir.
It shows that the students are motivated to perform on a high level, and they are the ones that have to go do the work. And if they are rewarded for it, I feel their reward through them.
Through the all-national honors choir, Hempfield singers' voices can be heard at a national level. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Julia Campbell.
They had a great performance over Thanksgiving weekend. Tune in next month to learn more about how students at Hempfield cope with stress, career exploration in the Hempfield School District, and a group that inspires girls around the globe. Thank you for watching this month's edition of Hempfield Happenings.